How to become a property developer in the UK. I'm here today with my business partner Andrew Hubbard at one of his live development sites. If you are new to this channel, hit subscribe, hit that like button to kick the algorithm in, and of course leave us a comment below. So Andrew, we are here on site. What is this site?
So this particular site is 5 back gardens. They belong to the houses behind, and yeah, it's just gardens that, you know, a bit too big for people to manage these days. Years ago they used to build these massive long gardens, not really, like I say, too much for people to look after, prime for development.
Great, good. So let's go into 5 key things that you need to follow in order to become a developer. Number 1 is actually make the decision to be a developer. You get what you focus on. So Andrew, tell us a little bit about your history. You're now your own developer, but you know, where were you, say 4, 5, 10, 15 years ago?
So just a few years ago, I was a builder, working around customers' houses, working on sites for other developers. And yeah, I decided I wanted to go and do this for myself. I was just fed up with all the hours. I was working, you know, crazy hours, 80 to 100 hours a week, invoicing, chasing contractors, fetching materials, dealing with snagging, and I just wanted to basically do it for myself.
Great, good. Yeah, so you then became a developer, and it is as easy as making that decision. And hey, maybe you're watching this video now and you're a business owner, maybe you're a tradesman, maybe you're unemployed, maybe you've done some property, maybe you're just, you know, in the grind, but you want something different. Property is a great way to take you from where you are now to where you need to go. And the target is to be making at least £100,000 per development. So even if you're just going to build one house, you're looking at £100,000 profit. If you can go and build 10 houses, you're potentially looking at £1 million profit. Now, of course, that's just a guide. So are you going to make that decision? And in order to get from where you are now to where you've got to go, it really is easy as, hey, make the decision. Point number 2 is making sure that you get the right education. Surround yourself with people that are not just talking the talk, but are walking the walk. And hey, I was a part-time property investor initially for 13 years. I made every mistake in the book. It was a complete disaster. I bought the wrong properties in the wrong locations. I bought overseas. And my first time round as a property investor, I lost over €2 million. However, you can transform very, very quickly. And I'm a big believer in mentorship, in advanced training. I own now one of the UK's premier property business and wealth training companies. I'm here today with one of my business partners and lead trainers within the organization. So Andrew, talk us through your mindset and the process that you went through in order to become your own developer.
So I was working really, really hard, and I soon realised that in order to change, I needed to find somebody that was doing what I wanted to do. So I reached out into education and mentorship myself. And one of the questions I said to my mentor was, like, you know, how do I earn more money? And he said, well, you can't. You've run out of hours. So you're trading your time for money. I'd run out of hours. It wasn't possible for me to earn any more money. So I had to start leveraging. And the education and the mindset changed. And I realised that I could get other people to do the work for me. And that's what's been the biggest change for me, really, getting that person to show me the way.
Great. And look, if we look at Andrew, for example, he's a very experienced builder, over 30 years. But for Andrew to go from builder to become his own property developer, Andrew, as well as me, we have invested tens of thousands of pounds in education and in mentoring. They say you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. Who are you hanging around with right now? If you are hanging out with 5 negative people, you're gonna be the 6th. If you're hanging around with 5 skint people, you're gonna be the 6th. So upgrade your surroundings, get around people that are gonna support you and help you. It is one of the quickest routes to success. That leads us really nicely onto point number 3, which is building a fantastic team around you.
So one of the biggest things that attracted me to development was the ability to build a power team. So I went from doing everything myself to now having a team of professionals around me full time. And some of those key members was an architect. They'll help me take a site like this through planning. If we've got any challenges, we've got a planning consultant to help us do that. We've got expert solicitors, so commercial solicitors that will help us go through all the searches to de-risk the land, make sure everything's in complete ownership. And then we'll take it through planning. And then we've got our QSs that will cost up the site for us, tell us how much materials we need. And it goes right through up to the estate agents, the people that are going to sell these properties once they're built.
Great, so a power team is absolutely essential, and it just goes to show that you don't have to be an expert in every single aspect of property development. You might be really good at finding the money. You might be really good at finding the deals. You might be really good at building the power team. But you build the team and you get the experts to do all the nitty-gritty. So you can then focus on finding more deals, finding more money, doing less, earning more, and living the lifestyle that you and your family want to live. You don't need many of these deals per year to live an exceptional lifestyle. You know, we are here today in Spalding. Andrew has got this amazing development, direct to vendor, where he's going to be building 3 houses, literally where we are standing now, and it's going to make in the region of £500,000 profit. Hey, just give me a yes in the comments if you'd like to be making £500,000 from just one small development deal, and you haven't even got to be the builder. Point number 4 is finding deals. Now, finding deals will become one of your highest key result areas. Andrew, this is a direct to vendor deal. How did you find this amazing site?
Okay, so the direct to vendor deals really is quite simple. It starts just by offering a letter. And the idea of that letter is to get a meeting face to face with the vendors. And there you can build rapport, get them to like you and trust you. You can demonstrate what you're capable of doing and that you want to develop a property in their land. And some people might say, well, why would they want to do that? But obviously, you know, land's quite valuable. And this is land that most people don't use. So it allows them to make some good tax-free money on their gardens. But direct to vendor is a great strategy because it's just you and the vendor. There is no middleman, there is no estate agent in there telling you what you want to hear and the vendor what they want to hear. So for me, it's one of my favourite strategies. I think the other key point is you get to name the price of your land yourself. So for estate agents, it's quite typical for them to really over-inflate prices. And then you've got to bring the vendor sort of down a little bit and say, well, look, this is actually what the land's worth. But by going direct to the vendor, you're there and you can say, well, look, this is what the land's worth, this is what we'll pay. And you can set that price from day one.
Great, so how did you go direct to vendor to these guys? Did you just knock on their door? Did you put a letter through the post? How did that work?
Yeah, so letter through the post. And as with most neighbours, they speak to their neighbours. They've all got the same sort of gardens. So this one particular neighbour spoke to the other neighbours as well. And then that's just, originally we got 4 neighbours on board. And then I spoke to one of the vendors and said, well, what about your next door neighbour there? So then the 5th neighbour came in, and yeah, this was 5 particular garden back plots.
Wow, fantastic. And you've paid them obviously to buy their land at the back,
yeah.
£240,000, is that right?
Yeah, I mean initially we'll just go to what's called an option agreement. So for £1 we secure the option legally, so that locks us in the deal. So once we're locked into the deal, we'll then take it through planning. This particular site, it was about £10,000 to take it through planning. Then that de-risks us.
Wow,
so it's not a commitment to buy the land,
yeah.
But we get locked into the deal to say, yes, we can then take it through planning. And only when we've got planning do we then go on to pay the vendors full price.
Fantastic, and there are loads of these sites up and down the UK right now, lots of opportunity. We're not building enough houses. People are highly motivated. It's been an extremely difficult period for millions and millions of people up and down the UK over these last 18 months due to the pandemic, and people are sitting on land which is worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds to them. You can make them an offer, do a direct to vendor deal. It's an absolute win-win for everybody. And point number 5 is finding the money. And look, you can build a property development business literally using OPM, other people's money. There's many ways in which you can get really creative. You can go out to private funders, you can go out to JV partners, you can go out to bridging companies, crowdfunding, development funders. Andrew, how are you typically funding your deals?
So typically we'll put in up to 50% of the land value.
Right,
And
great.
for me, that was a big light bulb moment. I always thought you needed, hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of money. You had to pay the full price. But development funding allows us to put in as little as 50%, sometimes less. And then the development funding will put in the rest of the purchase price, and then they'll give us 100% of the money for the build.
Great, good stuff. So, and also you can become your own bank as well, can't you? So once you start doing your first 1, 2, 3, 4 developments, you're gonna be making 100, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 pounds per site. You can then become your own bank and fund future developments, and then your companies can charge interest on the money you're lending out. So if you're watching this now and you're in a position where you haven't got big deposit pots, you're not sitting on savings, you're not earning the money you want to make, is that going to stop people from becoming a developer, Andrew?
No, there's lots of ways of doing it. You can joint venture with the landowners, there's deferred payments, like you say, there's private finance. Lots of people got money sitting in the bank earning zero, it's deflating with inflation. The money is the easy part to find.
Yeah.
I think if you find a plot like this, the money will come because people want to get invested.
I think that's really important. A lot of people worry about the money. They just say, look, I can't do property, I can't get into development because I haven't got any money. And actually, us developers, and you've done multi-million pound developments, I've done multi-million pound developments, we actually don't really use our own money, or we're using money that we've made from other sites. So there's so many ways you can do this. We absolutely love being property developers. There's huge opportunity up and down the UK right now. If we can do it, you can definitely do it. We really hope you've enjoyed this latest episode of our development journey. If you are new to this channel, make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell, smash that like button, and stay tuned for more of our videos.